It was an unusual practice where Parliament overturns a majority report from the sector committee to act accordingly.
I beg to oppose.
The Parliamentary Committee on National Economy, backed by a section of the MPs, presented a suggestion that the loan request for the UMEME buyout be halted until the Auditor General completes valuation.
And considering the period remaining to come to the end of the lease and assignment agreement, the Auditor General expeditiously reconciles with ERA, UEDCL, and the Auditor General to determine the UMEME payout cost and submit it to Parliament to guide the approval of the loan request.
Handle in a proper way. Can we respect our rules and then they'll guide us at the exact amount when it is due, well audited, then we'll proceed. Right, Honourable Speaker, I'll rise to support, but let us really be fair to ourselves and the country.
I'm hard pressed to believe the Minister of Finance here when he commits to us that you give me the 190. If I discover I'm meant to give them less, I'll only give them that part. Because, and examples have been given, this minister has promised us here are not fulfilled.
But the Minister of State for Finance in charge of General Duties, Henry Musaasizi, quickly objected the report of the committee, citing time constraint.
We need not less than a week to manage the next steps.
Okay, just to, yes, if we fail to pay by the 31st, it will be 10% for the first 30 to 45 days, 15% 46 to 90 days, and 20% after 91 days.
We have very few days on which to make a decision. There is interest that is going to accrue that the taxpayers of Uganda will pay on account of Parliament delaying a decision. Are we going to carry that burden that we will incur the 10%, the 20%?
The funding is intended to finance the compensation of UMEME Limited for the unrecovered capital investments in accordance with the lease and assignment agreement. This is in response of a guidance by the head of state to the Minister of Finance to ensure that the required funds for the buyout of UMEME Limited are sourced by the time the concession agreement expires.
This Parliament provided an investigation which took 2 years, and this Parliament condemned those who signed that agreement. And this very buyout was a recommendation of Parliament.
Last week, Parliament passed a supplementary budget to the cause, which now awaits source of financing. This is the spirit that a loan request of $190,988,566, equivalent to Uganda shillings 725.7 billion, is secured from Stanbic Bank. Approving the loan request called for back-to-back questions on who could have compromised the process, which has turned out to be on a gunpoint.
Because there are people we charge with responsibility, they should have done that work for us incrementally until now we would have known these are the figures. Why that information is important is...
And you'll find, Minister, it may not be only you, it can also be all of us, even in Parliament, Auditor General, everybody. It is not one single person sleeping on the job.
We should direct it to the correct people. And we can fold it up. We can really fold it up. Who did what? Who sat on what? And we can take any decision to have those people account.
Because the terms of the agreement, which Honorable Anguzuli says he read, told us exactly at what point UMEME was, there is a process to be followed in the buyout. So you couldn't come any earlier.
The MPs were caught off guard by a motion by MP Ismail Isaac of Padiere County to disregard the report of the committee and proceed with the minister's position. This was also backed by the Attorney General, Chiowa Chiwanuka.
So that we process the loan and we pass it. It's a motion to borrow up to euro equivalent of US dollars 190,988,566 from Stanbic Bank for the UMEME Limited buyout.
Seconded. The seconders will still be there. With the amendments, those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The manner of the loan approval was deemed strange by some MPs who cited that the deliberations were in anticipation since the Auditor General's valuation report is still in waiting.
To support the deployment of the Uganda